Welcome back to the Linux Beginner's Guide, Lesson 3, and today we're learning how to actually read files. Here's the thing about Linux. Almost everything is just text. Your logs, your configs, your README files, even your source code, all plain text waiting to be read. So we're going to pick up 5 small but powerful commands: cat, less, head, tail, and grep. And by the end, you'll be able to find any line in any file in seconds. So let's map out where we're heading. 4 skills, 4 tools, each one matched to a different shape of file. For small stuff like configs and readmes, cat just dumps the whole thing on screen. For massive log files, less lets you scroll and search without choking your terminal. When you only care about the beginning or the end, head and tail peek at the edges, and tail even follows a log live as new lines come in. And then grep, the workhorse, finds any line matching a pattern. Together, that's how do I find anything becomes a 5-second answer. Here's the mental model that ties it all together. On Linux, almost everything you'll touch is just plain text. Configs, logs, source code, even chunks of the system itself, all readable. So picking the right tool really comes down to one question: how big is the file? A few kilobytes, just cat it. Hundreds of megabytes of logs reach for less. Only need the top or bottom, head and tail, and when you need to find a specific line anywhere, that's where grep shines. So let's start with the smallest tool in the kit, cat. The name is short for concatenate, because it was actually designed to glue files together, like joining part 1 and part 2 into a full document. But day to day, you'll mostly use it as a quick dump. Cat hello.txt and the whole file lands in your terminal. Add a N flag if you want line numbers. Just one rule: never cat a giant log file, or you'll be watching it scroll for the next 10 minutes. And that's exactly where less comes in. The name is a little joke on the older more command. Less can do more than more. The beauty is it doesn't load the whole file, it streams it, so even a 10 gigabyte log opens instantly. Space moves you forward a screen, B takes you back, / lets you search, and Q quits. Try it now on something meaty like less, etc., services, and just feel how smooth it is. But often you don't even need to scroll. You just want a peek. That's where head and tail come in. Head shows you the top of a file, 10 lines by default, or however many you want with the dash and flag, perfect for sanity checking a CSV header. Tail does the opposite, grabbing the last lines, which is the bread and butter of log triage. And the real gem is tail-F, follow mode, which keeps printing new lines as they're written. Open it on a live log, and watch your app talk to you in real time. And now we arrive at the star of the toolkit, grep. Think of it as Ctrl plus F for the entire file system. Point it at a file and a pattern, and it prints every line that matches. The basics are simple: grep error app. Log pulls out your error lines. But the real power is in the flags. -I to ignore case, -N to show line numbers, -V to flip it around and find lines that don't match, and the killer one, -R, which recurses through whole folders. That last one is how you find any line in any file in seconds. Now let's put it all together with 6 combos real engineers type every single day. Watch a log and filter for errors live with tail-F piped into grep. Hunt every to-do in your codebase with grep-RI. Peek at a CSV's headers using head-1. Use less plus F when you want tail mode, but with the option to scroll back. Count matching lines with grep-C, and add up lines across many files by piping cat into WC-L. Don't worry about that pipe symbol yet. We'll fully unlock it in Lesson 6. Here's your whole lesson on a single screen. A cheat sheet to keep nearby while the muscle memory builds. 5 tools across the top. Cat for the whole file, less for paging, head and tail for the ends, grep for the search. Then the flags that do most of the heavy lifting. -N for line numbers, -F to follow, -I to ignore case, -R to recurse. Screenshot this one. You'll come back to it more often than you'd think. Now, before you head off to practice, let me save you some pain. 5 small mistakes everyone makes: catting a giant log file and watching it scroll past forever, panicking inside less when Q is all you need to escape, forgetting dash I and missing half your matches, leaving tail dash of running and wondering why nothing responds, and letting grep treat a dot or a star as a pattern when you meant it literally. That's where dash F saves you. Hit these once on purpose and you'll never hit them by accident. So here's where it gets real. 3 quick exercises, all on files that already exist on your machine. First, peek at etc passwd with head-5 and tail-5. You'll see every user account on the system, 1 per line. Second, grep your own username out of that same file to discover which shell you're running. And third, open etc to your services with less, type /http and press N to jump from match to match. 3 files, 5 commands, real answers. And just like that, you've earned something genuinely powerful. You can now open, scan, and search any readable file on a Linux system. Cat and less for the whole picture, head and tail for the edges, grep when you need a needle in a haystack, and log files that no longer feel intimidating. Next up is Lesson 04, where we tackle permissions, chmod, chown, sudo, and the mystery of what 755 actually means. I'll see you there.